Beautiful Wednesday. I'm here right outside of Seattle, and we have had, I'm going to say about 2 weeks of consistent rain every day. And today is one of 2 days that it has not been super rainy. So I'm really enjoying today. I'll give a few minutes for folks to join us. We just had a really nice conversation over at Bridges, and we were talking about Thanksgiving food. So I'm extremely hungry. We were talking about sweet potato pies. I don't know if you've heard of that before, but it is delicious. We were also talking about dressing, because dressing and stuffing are different. I'm from Tennessee, so we call it dressing out there. We also talked about chitlins. Not sure if you all are familiar with that, but we were talking about a lot of delicious things for Thanksgiving. So now I am very hungry, very, very hungry. Not to mention my husband's cooking a pot roast and I can smell it wafting into my office. So I'm going to try to keep it together and not slobber on my face. Hey, Amanda.
What's up?
How are you?
I'm good. How are you? I was just cracking up because I was like, I can fucking smell the pot roast from here. That sounds amazing.
And I know it's gonna be so good. He went and bought a whole new crock pot for this pot roast.
Oh,
so he was like, the one that we have is not going to suffice. I've got to get a special pot roast or a special crock pot.
I love that. And crock pot. You know, I lived in my car for a long time, and I actually had a crock pot, and I got an adapter, and so I would just like kind of strap it down, and while I was cruising, I'd be cooking up some stuff, and like you can make like lasagnas, you can make like desserts. You know, you think crock pot, you think like mushy kind of stew or meat.
Yeah.
But no, you can do all kinds of magic. So
I mean, see, now I'm like, I need some crock pot recipes because you're over here making desserts and lasagnas in it.
Oh, yeah.
I need to know your secrets.
Yeah. No, you can get really, really weird with the crock pot, 100%. And the lasagna wasn't bad. I'm actually kind of recommending it. Like, it was pretty good.
Well, and you know, part of the reason that I hate cooking lasagna is partially because it takes so long. And it always feels like such a labor-intensive thing to do. But I'm like, if I have a crock pot, that'll take some of the taking up my time. It'll take it out of there.
Yeah, and it hypes up the food because you get to smell it, or you come home from work and you smell it. It's like, that's the best when you know there's something hot and delicious waiting for you. Especially when someone else is cooking it for you.
That's the key right there.
That's awesome.
Well, ladies, I am so happy to see you all. This will be the business open mic in Toke. So I do want to hear all about your business. I want to hear what you're loving about it, what you're excited about, especially as we enter into 2022. If we haven't met before, my name is Brittany Parker. I'm also known as Natural Brie on Instagrams and on the social medias. I'm the founder of A Green Legacy, which is an organization supporting and empowering underrepresented cannabis entrepreneurs through education, through programming, and also through community. And so we're gearing up for 2022, which will be back with a lot of really exciting events going on. And then I'm also actually looking for folks who may be interested in getting a little bit more experience or may want to do some collaboration on events, workshops, all of those sorts of things for next year. Aside from A Green Legacy, I'm also a marketing and communications consultant. And then I'm also a freelance writer for Weed Maps and for Leafly and for a few other local publications in the Seattle area. I am so excited. Hello, Erica, to hear all about you all's businesses. So please do come on up. If you would like to tell us about your business, if you would like to promote your business, come on up, tell us about your business. And then also tell us about yourself and why you decided to go the entrepreneurial route. Because y'all, it's hard out here. It is tiring being an entrepreneur. So I want to know why. Why did you all do this? Why did you all decide to go this direction? Amanda, you are the first to my right. So I'll start with you. Tell us about your business and about yourself.
Okay, cool. This is so exciting. So my business is called Emerald Temple. Basically, I'm just a huge weed nerd. I started as a trimmer in Humboldt County 10 years ago. The tail end of the black market, unfortunately, and the tail end of the big money. But I just loved the first day I stepped on a weed farm. I just immediately fell in love with the plant harder than I had already. So it's evolved over the years. I work on a few different farms still, but my main hustle is that I make topicals and edibles and teach workshops and stuff like that. But mostly I'm just a really big weed nerd, and I like talking about weed with other weed nerds.
Now, where can people find you and find your products as well?
Yeah, I do have a website. So I'm based out of Toronto, Ontario, Canada. And because there's people from everywhere here today.
Yes.
So yeah, I sell some of my products in some shops. And I guess the biggest struggle for life here in Toronto, even though cannabis is legal, a lot of us small businesses are still working in what I call the gray market. It's black market really, but it's legal, so it's kind of lawful, so it's kind of gray. So I have a few stores that sell my products, brick and mortar shops, and online on my website, emeraldtempleliving.com. But the struggle is real because up here you need a lot of money, and you have to jump through a million hoops to actually get into stores. So for small businesses, just me, it's really not possible. So it's those other folks supporting the gray market that are keeping my business alive.
Yes. It's almost like someone was describing how when they first entered into cannabis, they were literally having to go like to dispensary, to store, to store, to store all day. And that's what they were doing to try to get their product on shelf. So it sounds like you're still you're having to do that.
Well, and dispensaries here cannot sell my products. So being in the topical sphere, I'm really lucky because there's some leeway with CBD products. Like I said, it's very gray. Right. So shops like, any shop that would sell body care products is interested. But it's, it's just tough to get into the legal market, which is really ultimately where I think a lot of us would like to end up.
Yeah, absolutely. Have you thought of trying to talk to like spa owners?
Yeah, no, definitely hitting the pavement. That's my 2020. I spent most of COVID formulating and doing a lot of custom stuff. Sometimes I get hired by companies to do formulas for them, and that's really great because it's all of the fun and none of the responsibility, really, because they're paying for it. So you get to really experiment. But yeah, I hope to expand the line this year, and I'm really excited to share a lot of new products that I've been working on in the new year.
Woo! And you all can find Amanda and her products at emeraldtempleliving.com.
Thank you.
So go and get your salves, go and get your body care things. I'm here for it. Thank you, Amanda.
Thank you.
Erica, what about you?
Let me unmute. Hey, y'all. How are y'all doing? I'm trying to find Emerald. Okay. I was on social media like Emerald, missing the D. I'm typing too fast. Okay.
I love your wallpaper behind you, by the way.
Yeah, it's funny because I'm all the way in cold, gloomy Michigan. So I need like a cubby hole that reminds me or takes me away from where I am. It's nothing but a small space.
Amen. I completely understand. I live in very cloudy Seattle, and I feel your pain.
Yeah, and it's quite been ugly lately. We even had snow the other day. I'm like, ooh, that is disrespectful. But I am Erica. I know it's like the S word. That's like the bad S word to me. I'm like, ooh, did you say that S word? So I I am Erica Danielle. I'm a nurse, and I created my baby, Can a Nurse Heal? What it's really for is to help women realize that having a delicious life is our freaking birthright. And I help them create that with the key ingredients of cannabis, clitoral stimulation, and calming of the mind. Because we need to learn how to calm our minds, we need to learn how to reconnect with our bodies and use these amazing plants here to help us heal and do those things. So I created an ebook which is on my website now called A Woman's Guide to a Delicious Life. And I'm looking at starting some group coaching next year to kind of take that ebook and like expand all on that deliciousness. And I do meditation. I'm a meditation practitioner. I got into that a little bit about me. I was really in a really hot mess of a place up until like 2018, going into 2019, where I was like, I can't do this no more. And I mean, really, I just remember like just saying that I can't do this no more. I can't keep thinking this way. I don't know what's wrong with my life. I hate everything. Like, why am I here? What is my purpose? And I had never really said that out loud. I had thought it for many years because I felt ashamed being a mother and a wife and a nurse, and you have all these things. So shouldn't you be happy? And so I was just on a quest from 2019 to not knowing 2020 would come with all that hot mess. But I'm glad that I got it. That needed to happen when it did, because by the time 2020 got here, I had learned how to kind of begin my healing journey to where I was able to kind of coast through the craziness and the chaos. And that's where I created Can a Nurse Heal. That's when I started to do more journaling. And I remember waking up one day and I'm like, oh my God, this feels amazing. It's like the birds were chirping. I felt like I was in a Disney movie. And I'm like, this is so delicious. And I don't even know why I said that word, but I'm like, what is happening? Am I high or something? And then it was like day after day, like it wasn't me. And I knew it wasn't like I was in the middle of the night getting up smoking or anything. I'm like, no, this is just normally how I'm feeling. And for me, being a person who was at a point where I'm like, God, why am I here? Oh, another day to waking up like, this is amazing. For me was a big deal. And that's when I realized it, when I became more intentional with cannabis and became more comfortable with my body and loving myself, even through the mess I put it through, and learning how to meditate, calm the F down sometimes, how those things really help me find balance, help me find the bliss, and wake up like, ooh, this is delicious. So I wanted to share that with other women, and especially women who look like me, because sometimes we feel like we got to be so strong and tough, and I can't tell you how I feel, and I can't open up and be vulnerable. So I wanted really all women, but especially, if you look like me and you can understand some of the things we have to deal with every freaking day and try to look cute and, all these things, I wanted them to know it's okay to open up, be vulnerable, be feminine, embrace who you are, and being healthy and being well should be the normal. Taking care of our body should be the normal standard, and not just, oh, I'm sick, now let me get it together. So
absolutely. And there were a lot of things that you said that I was like, yes, sis, seen. Yeah, especially that piece. I think one thing that's so beautiful is the fact that prior to the pandemic, you had already started on this work within meditation, within trying to figure out like, how do I cope with like everything that just happens from being a person, but on top of that, a wife, a mom, a nurse, which I know is like incredibly taxing, and trying to find self. And so the fact that you were already working on that prior to the pandemic, oh my gosh, it's almost like the universe knew.
It really gives me chills, like seriously, because I think like, damn, that is so crazy how it was right on time. Like, and I'm even more grateful for the craziness I went through and those things, because I'm like, I needed to get to that point. Because who knows, I would have probably never thought, girl, you need to get it together. And who knows what hot mess I would have been. I wouldn't have been on here with you guys, I can tell you that. It's been a whole hot mess.
Now, Erica, where can people find your products?
Yes.
And how can they find you too?
Yeah, I keep everything the same because, I like to keep it simple. So Can a Nurse Heal is my Instagram, and cananurseheal.com is my website, where I've got some cute little products, the ebook, and also leaving your email so that as new things come out, you are the first to get that deliciousness. Okay.
I'm really excited because I'm over here, and when I heard what you said it about. I think you said something about like clitoral stimulation or something to that effect.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I do enjoy that. So you will see me. You will see me.
Yes,
Yeah.
you like amen on that. They're like, ooh.
You know what? Really, that's what every person should be giving their partner who has a clitoris for Christmas. So just saying, CannaNurseHeal.com. And you can find her at Canna Nurse Heal as well on the Instagrams. So very easy to remember. Get some sexy time in your life. Hannah, what about you?
Hi guys, my name is Hannah Erkins. I'm with Higher Promos. We're a cannabis promotional company located in Portland, Oregon. We're women owned and operated. We're a division of a bigger company called Marco Ideas Unlimited, which has been around for over 60 years. It was actually started by my boss's mom, and my absolute favorite story to tell about her is that in 1984 she won Man of the Year, making them change it to Person of the Year. So I just think that's very inspiring and just super cool. But yeah, we do promotional products, focusing in the cannabis industry, but we can also do soft goods such as apparel and things like that. Basically, anything you can think of, we can put your logo on it.
Nice. Can you say one more time what the name of the company is?
Yeah, it's called Higher Promos, and I was actually just going to put my info in the chat, so you have it there as well.
Yes. As someone who is trying to figure out my promo situation for 2022, you may be hearing from me. So just be prepared.
Yes, amazing. No, come to me with all your promo needs. We're here to help you out. I can work on artwork, help you come up with creative solutions, all that fun stuff.
Nice. So Higher Promos is your company or your family company?
It's not my company. I just work for Higher Promos. It is a family-owned company. So my boss's mom started it, and now she's the president, and she's passing it on to her children. So it's family-run. It's small. We're a local Oregon business. Been here forever. So yeah.
Very, very nice. Do you all also have designers on staff?
We do. Yeah, we can use Adobe. Help you guys with graphics, all that kind of stuff.
Listen, if you need your promo situation figured out,
yes,
go to Higher Promos. It is actually in the chat, so thank you for putting it there. Now, how long have you been in the cannabis industry, Hannah?
I've only been in the cannabis industry about 6 months. I've been in the promotional industry for a little over 3 years, but I just recently started a job with this company that is in the cannabis industry. I've been a cannabis user for a while, and so it was very, very cool to me to get to mesh business and pleasure basically, and do something that I love every day.
Well, welcome to the industry. It's a fun place. It's an interesting place. It's a evolving place.
Yeah, it's very fun. I love
it. Thank you so much. And Laura, what about you?
Hey, yeah, so I play a couple different roles. One of them is I'm the marketing chair for the Cannabis Travel Association International. And so, yes, that's a lot of fun. And so that as an organization, which you should definitely check out, it's at cannabistravelassociation.org. But yeah, we're a membership group that helps bridge the gap between mainstream, hospitality and traditional travel and tourism to those in the cannabis travel and tourism space. From tour operators to Live that is creating experiences to brands. But we provide education, advocacy, and networking around normalizing what it is to provide experiences in cannabis travel and tourism. So yes, a lot of fun, and it's been amazing for me. I'm in the Midwest in Iowa, and so pretty close to Erica with Michigan. And so it's been great for me to be exposed to what is happening in this space and what you can do for the kind of curious to kind of ease them into a new experience. And because they're already used to travel and tourism, so it's just a way of re-experiencing something.
I'm curious, Laura. I know in Washington, for example, we don't have consumption spaces.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm seeing more and more kind of like Airbnb type places that are consumption friendly. Are you seeing an uptick in any of that kind of activity within the hospitality space?
Absolutely. Up in Canada, High B&B is the Airbnb for cannabis. And so Elizabeth is doing phenomenal things with that organization. And she, yes, in Canada, but she's branching down to California in the US market. So she's hoping to start educating and bringing on more consumption type places.
That is awesome and amazing. How long have you been in the cannabis industry?
Myself, about a couple of years. And so I got into it because, I lost a brother to opioid addiction and drug-related heart attack. And then my dad 2 years later to brain cancer. And so I left a big, awesome corporate gig to say, like, I'm now going to be in the cannabis space. And my niche is helping female entrepreneurs. And so my prior role was in marketing and in healthcare and finance. And it was a membership model. So I look at customer journey maps right now for brands and, of course, travel destinations to figure out, like, who is your target customer, what's the overall experience that you're trying to create for them. So you have a roadmap to get there, and then looking at your brand strategy and your marketing to figure out what types of channels and tactics should be available and used so you can meet people where they're at.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Yeah. I'm a big techie. So I do a lot of user experience reviews of e-commerce websites and just technology programs to make sure you have feedback loops in place. How are you actually utilizing your website to make sure it's better conversions and things like that?
Yes. And and that's actually something that I'm finding with a lot of my clients is they don't have much experience around what their ecosystem should look like in order to track the things that they're doing. Mm-hmm. And I was working in tech before this, and that was even an issue with the organizations that we were working at there, which are Microsoft, Amazon, those sorts of companies too. But it's definitely been interesting being in the cannabis space and seeing that disconnect is there, but also that I'm seeing a lot more people becoming more and more savvy around it. So Laura, I just feel like it's people like you that are getting those results and helping other folks get those results and really make decisions that make sense with their budget.
Yep, absolutely.
Awesome. And people can find you at cannabistravel.association.org.
Mm-hmm.
And then are you on social as well?
Yeah. And so with that association, it's Cannabis Travel Association. And then my own business is Laura Lou Experience Design. And my website is customerdelightprocess.com. And then find me on socials with Laura Lou Experience Design.
Yep. And that's LOU?
LAURALOO.
Okay. Laura Lou Design. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Liv, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. It's so cool to hear about everybody's businesses and like everyone's approaches to different things. It's awesome.
Seriously. You were our main stage speaker I was about to say this morning, but it's 3:30 here, so
I know it's like earlier.
And you mentioned that you're in Portland, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Tell all of us a little bit about what you're up to these days.
So, I wanted to tell everyone about, so I started a Patreon because I'm sure everyone here knows it's really hard to put education about cannabis on the internet. Social media standards and guidelines have not caught up to the laws. So I was having an issue with like almost losing my account, and I asked the people who follow me on Instagram, like, what would you follow? So a lot of people suggested a Patreon, so I started a Patreon, and I already do virtual classes for the holidays. So I'm going to keep that rolling and do virtual cooking classes. They're great for people who maybe have gone no contact with their family and are staying at home or can't afford the crazy prices for flights. And you can just log in, and for $35, you get access to all the recipes and information that's there already. And then we do cooking classes. And next month we're doing 2. We're doing Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. So you get that for $35, which is a way better deal than it was before when I was doing singularly ticketed items. So I just wanted to tell you all about that. But virtual events have been kind of how I've pivoted. I think that they're easy, they're accessible, they're COVID safe, and it's great for just kind of the time we're in. I think a lot of people are spending more time at home and entertaining, and you can do a cooking class and then close your laptop and enjoy an infused meal with your roommates or family or friends or your partner. So it's pretty fun, and I just wanted to tell you all about it and invite you to it. And it's Chef Liv Vasquez on Patreon.
Nice. And let me ask you this, Liz. So when people do online cooking with you, is it a situation where like you give them a grocery shopping list, they go and get everything, and then they follow along, or is it something a little different?
Yeah, so I give you a grocery list. I tell you what we want to have. It's a BYO infusions class. I have done classes in the past that are kit and classes where I send you an infusion kit and then a grocery list. But those are all CBD. So to do THC, I feel like the holidays you need THC. So, so those are BYO infusions that anybody can use whatever they've had. But sometimes I do infusion classes. Sometimes I do cocktail only classes. Nice. So I do try to do a class every month or every 6 weeks. So they're all a little different, but infusion takes so long that it ends up being like a 6-hour like hangout.
Yes.
So the cooking classes are only 2 hours. They're very manageable. And then, yeah, I post a shopping list in the Patreon, and it just tells you how much you're going to need of everything. And for my one-on-one cooking classes that I offer virtually, sometimes I order the groceries for them and just have it delivered to the house, and then tell them what dispensaries to go to and like what to pick up like around them. So it just depends on how much detail you want, how much you want to take on yourself, and how much you want me to take care of. So it varies, but for the Patreon classes, we just post a shopping list.
That is awesome. For people that are just joining, Liv does have a Patreon set up where you get so many amazing things. Don't you want a culinary experience with your marijuana? Like, don't you want that? So she is doing that on Patreon and you can find her at Chef Liz Vasquez on Patreon. And you said it's $35? Y'all.
$35 a month includes the classes, but the $5 level, there's still recipes. And I'm working on a workbook right now to put in there. So like, I'm adding stuff all the time, but the $35 level is where you're going to get the classes and then some other video content and stuff like that.
Yes. Y'all, $35. I would say in a week, I'd spend more on coffee than that. So $35. You're getting so much. Now, there was a question that I had, but what was it? Oh, it wasn't a question. If there's anyone who would like to tell us about their business, feel free to go ahead and come on up. Otherwise, we'll just be chatting here. Now, Liv, so prior to the pandemic, or actually, I guess once the pandemic came, you had to pivot a bit. Are you, now, does it feel like you're able to do a few more in-person events than you were previously?
I'm really taking it, like I'm being very cautious about it. So I'm just kind of taking it case by case. If people want in person, I do ask that they are vaccinated. I think because I work with people who are immunocompromised and I myself am immunocompromised, it's just safe, but I still have the virtual options for people who are not vaccinated or who want to, you know, stay at home. And before this, I was doing pop-ups literally all over the country. So I was supposed to be in April of 2020. I was supposed to be in 5 different states because that's when my Netflix show premiered. So I was in lockdown while Netflix premiered. So it's definitely been an experience where it's like a lot of people have found me from other countries. And over Christmas, people do like a binge watch. And then it's like, oh my God. So it's really interesting, but it's also like I've definitely had to pivot because before I was doing table to farm, I was building kitchens in the middle of cannabis farms on rooftops to turn places that are residents into a restaurant for the day. So it was a lot of work and probably not sustainable. So it's probably good. I pivoted a bit, but
like, I want to be there. I want to be there. Like,
I know. I'm really hopeful that we can start doing events again. But I did do a collaboration with Jupiter Hotel here for staycations. So we just delivered the food to the hotel rooms, and people could have their own private dining room, hotel room to hang out and have an infused dinner. So I'm getting creative.
That is wonderful. And you know what? I feel like that's one thing that the pandemic has really brought out is a whole lot of creativity, a whole lot of people who are having to pivot in so many different ways, but also some new opportunities, especially around accessibility, with us being so digital focused. Amanda, Hannah, Erica, have you all had to pivot? How has the pandemic been for you all? Has it created opportunity? Has it like caused a little bit of pivoting to have to happen? What has it been like for y'all?
Sorry, go ahead. I was just going to say, for the promotion industry, it's definitely been interesting considering nothing is happening in person anymore, or was not happening in person. So definitely had to find interesting ways for people to still be able to market their product with branded merchandise without having to be there to give it to somebody. Whether that be like, if you have an event like this and you could mail each individual participant like a little activity to do, like with the event, with your logo on it and stuff like that, we've had to come up with different creative ideas.
Okay, and I'm assuming, correct me if I'm wrong, that you all probably were going to quite a few trade shows at one point prior to the pandemic.
We have. Definitely, there's like a whole season of trade shows. We actually did just attend MJ Biz in Las Vegas. That was last month. So we are getting to do a little bit more of that stuff now, but definitely during COVID, it was nothing.
Nice. Well, and hopefully we're on the other side of the pandemic at least, where we're going to be a little bit.
We're definitely seeing more and more events, so that's awesome, and it's getting back to normal, so great.
Yes, those are good signs. Amanda, what about you?
Oh, well, I live in Ontario and we were on lockdown the whole time. We just reopened like a few months ago, right? So Toronto's a major city. We were locked the fuck down the whole time. Few little breaks here and there, but mostly everything's been closed for business until just a few months ago. So no workshops, they actually closed stores. Non-essential stores. So you couldn't go to the dollar store and buy markers or mugs. You could only go to a store if you were buying something essential. So I had no sales, no workshops, nothing was happening. So obviously I had to bring everything online, beef up the website. But it was really crazy here for a really long time, not being able to just even go buy the ingredients I needed to make my products because they weren't essential.
Wow. How long were you all on that level of lockdown?
Pretty much at least a year. Stoner brain, it felt like forever. Stoner brain, it felt like 1,000 years. But it got to the point where they literally, if you tried to go to the dollar store even, they blocked off everything. You couldn't even buy soil in the spring to plant plants because soil wasn't essential.
Wow.
So they were really, really strict about what you could and could not buy because they did not want people going into stores here. So all the shops I sell my products were closed down the whole time.
Oh my gosh. Are you seeing now that things are opening up more, are you seeing an uptick in your sales now?
You know, things are opening up more. We were really lucky here because we had the government really provided people a lot of resources. Unfortunately, that money train has ended. So it's been an interesting roller coaster. You could see when people were getting their checks and were spending the money. And now that it's kind of gone, definitely things have slowed down again. So I think it'll peak for Christmas. I don't stress about sales. I just, as long as everyone's healthy and happy, it'll work out in 2020, right?
Right. Well, and we are coming up on this new year, and it almost feels like this is going to be the first year in a while where like hopefully we don't have any like ridiculous pandemicking like uptick or anything like that. So I feel so hopeful.
Yeah.
I don't know about you all, but I just feel so hopeful to be in this place where I'm seeing events happening again.
Yeah. And once the border reopened, that was such a relief. They just opened the land border this week. It was such a relief to all us Canadians to be able to come back and visit all our people in the States. So it feels like things are going well again for everyone.
Yay!
Yeah.
Hey,
I used to love going over to Ontario all the time. So I'm like, yay, finally.
Come visit.
Now you can go. Hey, Melissa, how are you?
I'm good. It's kind of loud in here. Well, not right this second. My daughter's in the back seat, so it's kind of loud. So I'm just jumping in real quick. Hi, guys.
Don't apologize. I have a 4-year-old, so like kids just be noisy, and it's fine. Tell us about your business. What's going on with you?
Well, I am Mel of Mel's Tree Eats. I'm in Jamaica. I have an edibles company here in Jamaica. I'm Jamaica's leading cannabis edibles brand. I also host an event called Buds and Brushes JA, which is now a virtual event that continues to give back to Jamaicans in need. We have live DJs, live art, live music, and I just celebrated my 2-year anniversary, hosted over 100 live acts worldwide. Wow. And just can't wait for, the road to be open again so we can start traveling with the event to a city near you.
Seriously? Okay, so I want to be in Jamaica eating edibles and doing fun stuff in the warmth. How can we follow you? What's your website? Tell us all the deets.
Sure, you can follow me at Buds and Brushes JA. So it's Buds and Brushes JA. That's the event site. And then from my edibles business, it's Mel's, MELS _tree _eats. Whenever you guys are ready to come to Jamaica, link me up. I know we meet a lot of the same people. Tokeativity is one of my sponsors for my event. They've been a sponsor for a minute now. Also Event High and Vanguard Media are also sponsors on the event. So whenever you guys are ready, look me up and let's try to connect, because as I said, the event is an event that will be traveling, in time when we're able to gather.
Yes. That makes me so incredibly happy. And I'm going to probably be reaching out to you this week or next. So I'll poke you. I've had some ideas about Jamaica as of late. So this is like a timely interaction here.
All right, Emmanuel, I'm here.
We have about 2 minutes left before the next session. Any last thoughts? Oh, love Melissa and Buds and Brushes. That came from Tokeativity HQ. They also said woo, so I'll do the woo for y'all, Tokeativity. But that's what I imagined it sounded like. We have another minute. Thank you all so much for coming up. I love hearing about you all's businesses. They're just Amazing. And knowing that all of you all are still here post the pandemic, like what just a rich community. So anytime you need anything, feel free to reach out. Again, my name is Brittany Parker. I'm the founder of A Green Legacy, supporting and empowering underrepresented cannabis entrepreneurs through events, through community, through partnership, through programming. Okay, now I'm just throwing out words. You can find me at Natural Brie on the Instagrams and the socials. You can also find me at A Green Legacy. And that's A Green Legacy. And I will be announcing our first 3 events for 2022 in the next couple of weeks after Thanksgiving. And I am just so grateful to meet you all, to know you all. And I just look forward to everything you do. Enjoy y'all's next session.
Thank you. It was so good getting to meet you guys.
So good to meet you all too. See you all later. Bye.